What's up? It's Juice Beats, back again with another race video. And this one is the Music City Crit Series, race number 3. And racing with Terrell and Derek in this one. This is the Music City Crit Series in Nashville. If you guys haven't seen my videos before, this is like my backyard race, even though I'm from Knoxville. I try to come out here most Wednesdays and jump into these races. We call them kind of practice races for the big major races around the region here. So these are good. You know, there are still some really good racers in these races, strong guys, but they're really good practice for us to get ready for the bigger races. This one was actually just before Athens Twilight, so the Wednesday before the Saturday Athens Twilight race. So jumping into this one, you can see in the video there what the clouds look like, if that doesn't give you a hint of maybe what's to come a little bit later in this race. But as we get started here, looking pretty good so far. Obviously, usually the first couple laps of the race are just getting a feel for the rest of the peloton. Nobody's really attacking or anything so far. Trying to establish myself in the pack as well. We are going around the double 180 course, so you'll see that come into play a little bit later as well. So here we go. That was the first lap done, and getting ready to start the second lap. Nothing really has gone on so far in this race, and yeah, let's see how many watts. I put in some good watts here. Maybe I did hit over 1,000 coming around there, but quickly settled down into 600. So that's actually pretty good, I think, for coming around the 180. So not having to push out a ton of power for an extended period of time. So it's okay if I peak a little bit over 1,000 just to come out of that 180 and get back up to speed. But if I'm still sitting at over 1,000 for that stretch, it does take a toll, or it tends to take a toll later on in the races. But here I go. I'm trying to establish myself a little bit closer to the front, making my way up there. I'm getting a little blocked here by Hub Cycling rider. So the big teams in this race, obviously, there's no Nashville local really anymore. There's not, you know, that used to be the team that took over these races. They would have 12 to 15 guys, and it was just hard to get around them. But now it seems that everybody is on Hub Cycling now. All the juniors and some younger riders are on the Hub Cycling team. Then we've got Grind City, obviously my team. I think we're the next biggest in this race as well. There's also Safety Herd and then Mustangs, but Safety Herd maybe only has 1 or 2 in this race, and Mustangs Matt is by himself in this race. I'm not sure if there's any other teams as well. I don't believe there is, but maybe I'll see them later on in this race and point them out. Quick stats for you. So obviously 40-minute race like we always do out here on the Wednesdays, and 25 miles an hour average, 276 watt average, max power of 1,644, and a normalized of 335 in this race. Keep an eye on the right here. We got Matt getting ready to put a little dig in here. We got a little bit of an attack. I see it over there on the right. Everybody else is kind of slowing down, and I'm gonna fit right in there. So trying to stay up with everybody and make sure nothing's getting away at this point in the race. So these early attacks, obviously, when I think about the way the races go, usually don't go the distance, but you still want to be out there. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to get left behind too far or whatever. And we've got this Hub Cycling guy putting in a little false tempo, making me work a little bit here to get back to the rest that are out there out front. But didn't have to put in too much because we have the double 180 coming up, and I know things were going to slow down as we go around here, so didn't have to put too many watts out there, thank God. But it does make a difference when they put in that false tempo and they open up those gaps like that, and then you're out there out front having to close it, and you're not in that break that forms. So it does make a bit of a difference there. And doing a really good job of being efficient there coming out of the 180, I think. Looking at my wattage coming out of there and not seeing, huge watts. That makes it easier on my legs for later on when I do have to use a bit of a match to catch up or anything like that. So when I'm coming out of there and only doing 400 to 600 watts and I'm able to stay in it, then that means I'm being a lot more efficient. When I'm doing 800 to over 1,000, it does get a little taxing towards the end of the race. But we're all back together, so the attack went, we responded, didn't go anywhere, and it looks like the rest of the peloton is back as well. And just as I say that, we have an attack there on the left from Coleman. It's a good strategy for this type of moment when everything kind of slows down and comes back together. It's a good chance to put in a little bit of an attack, but looks like everybody was pretty much on it, saw it from the get-go, and it's kind of tough, I think, at that point to get a bigger lead going into these double 180s. But good on him for recognizing that the slowdown was there and that he should probably attack at that point. It's good race instincts. But we quickly get back on his wheel here, and we all are back together. So short-lived attack there. And yet here we are. We're all coming back together, like I said. And Coleman's kind of slotting back into the rest of the peloton here. And what you're going to see here is we're coming around the bend, and we're going to have another attack to the right. You can kind of see it going there. Small attack out there, out wide. A portion of the front group is going to catch on here, and I'm just going to slot in behind Derek and try to just ride some wheels for a second. We've got some really good race instincts going on in these races. A lot of these guys have been out here the past few weeks, and it has been attack after attack after attack. So getting a lot of good repeats out there. So getting, those interval repeats. So it's almost like doing 40-20s out here. And that's a good way to, I guess, to describe the attacks, the way they've been going. So, strong attacks, everybody's jumping on, putting out the power, getting a little bit of rest once we catch up, and then another attack goes. So if you're doing 40-20s, you'll be ready for the Music City Crit Series out here. And here we go, just a few moments later, letting Terrell come through on the left side, and just behind him, here we go, another attack. Everybody calling it out. Are we going to respond here, or are we going to let them go? Looks like we've got some responders, so nobody is wanting to let that thing go there. Everybody's picking it up, falling in line, taking a nice ride behind here. Nothing really happens, so it's nice when the rest of the peloton responds and you can just kind of fall in line and let them take you up to it. So here we go, another little slowdown, and guess what's going to happen out there to the right? There goes Coleman and Hub Cycling. I'm not sure who that was, but yeah, I mean, that's the theme for this race here was attack, attack, attack. So anytime that the peloton kind of slowed down a little bit, we've got an attack, and so that's what we're basically dealing with here almost every lap. Any type of slowdown, any type of let up in the peloton, somebody is attacking trying to make things go here. And it looks like they do have about a 3 to 4 second lead going. They're already going around the bend there. So they did get a good jump on us, a good little punch. We'll see if it goes anywhere from here. But, you know, at this point, you know, I'm sheltering myself in the peloton, hoping at this point, since we missed that move, that, you know, the rest of the peloton's going to respond and we're going to bring it back here. All right, so here we are a few laps later. I think we're all back together at this point. Brought back Coleman, the other hub rider. I think there was 2 more that tried to bridge, but it was a little bit too late to try to bridge. We were already closing in on them, so I think they just kind of conceded and everybody has kind of fallen back in. Here I go making a move just to get back up front. I wasn't really trying to attack at this point. But this is where I believe I started to feel a couple drops. You know, I had got up here up to the front. I was telling Terrell how much better it feels when you're up front like here. It feels a lot smoother, and we're just kind of chilling, I think, at this point. But I do remember, yeah, I said, here it comes. So I started feeling drops here at this moment. So we're about 18 and a half minutes into this race, and I start feeling the drops. And yeah, it's gonna get crazy. You can see the clouds in the background. A lot of people still kind of in this race, but you're gonna see some things that get a little crazy here in just a second when it starts getting a little bit more wet here. Here we go, just a few moments later, around the 11th lap, and we've got another attack here on this back stretch. Seemed like a place that a lot of people wanted to attack from on this back stretch. And I will say that we did have somewhat of a headwind, I think, going into this back stretch this day. I don't think it was, you know, very strong or anything like that, but it was a slight headwind. But a lot of people were taking the chance to try to go through on this back stretch and use that as their attack point. And like I said earlier, that, you know, that was kind of the theme of the day, was to attack. So it's good in theory, but I think, you know, going into a headwind, it makes it tougher. And then here we go, almost crashing out there. Going around the turn, people are sliding out. It's getting slick. It's getting nice and wet. I think the video is not really doing it justice. Maybe it is for you guys, but I'm seeing, you know, a lot of the drops are coming down, but you really can't tell how slick it is out there. So I am gingerly taking my time going around the turns, and you saw those guys kind of slide out there. Nobody went down, thank you. But yeah, you know, people are sliding out already, and it is starting to really, really pour. I think now you guys kind of get the idea of what it looked like and how crazy it was, because now it's really starting to come down, and you can definitely see that on the video now, if it wasn't evident before. So now the thing you got to worry about with the rain is, you know, obviously we're riding at speed and going, you know, pretty fast around the track. We've got to worry about, you know, slipping and sliding. The first part of rain is usually the slipperiest. So even though this course is not super technical, usually going around the 180 does make it a little bit more technical, and makes it, you know, so that you have to be a little bit more ginger going around the turns. And you can see, you saw that on the last lap there, where people couldn't stop and they tried to go around the turn, and they ended up having to go straight and kind of off the course there. So I'm gonna take this turn. I think, you know, I started taking this turn a little bit wider just so that I could get a little bit more traction going around here. This is also a point in the course. There are some days that we come out here and they have cones marking off some places, because I think they still use this track for NASCAR. And so there are some, you know, some oil slicks sometimes on the track in certain places. So they have cones kind of marking that off. And I know that last year they had that a few times. So yeah, so if you got oil slick and then, you know, this downpour of rain going on, it makes for some bad conditions out here. But here I go, I see this opening, and I also see to my right that somebody was, taking off. So here we go, another attack here, and we actually get some separation. You can see there in the back cam, we have some good separation. So this may be it right here if we can hold it. How many watts are we doing? We're doing some pretty good watts here. So I'm doing 400 in the draft here, 300 to 400 in the draft. So doing pretty good watts. I'm gonna take my turn here. It looks like the peloton's still behind us. We've got, a couple seconds lead. He's not really following right behind my wheel. Well, a little bit, but it looked like he was falling back a little bit. And it looks like the peloton is trying to catch up to us. So I think I'm looking back at this point just to see how much of a lead we've got. I flick him through here just to see where we're at and get a chance to look back. I mean, I think we're doing some pretty good watts, but just not enough here to get away. You can see they're already kind of closing in behind us here. And yeah, I think that would have been a good point to try to get away. I'm not sure who this rider is, but it was a good move, and I just happened to kind of see it, out of the corner of my eye, him getting ready to go, and I was lucky to jump on his wheel, but didn't quite go anywhere. And now it looks like I've got another rider behind me at this moment. It looked like he got a really good turn around the 180 there and jumped on my wheel. I'm looking back to see what's going on, and I'm not really putting out a whole lot of power here because I see that our little breakaway got spoiled pretty quickly. But then I see this rider come up. I'm gonna jump on his wheel, see what else we can do. Thinking back about these moments right here. So, I put in a pretty good effort with the other rider for, a potential breakaway there in the last lap. And then I jump on this rider's wheel for a second. And then now here I am out in the lead. And just thinking about, going back in my head about this situation, saying, I probably should have just chilled and rested a little bit more. Probably fell back into the peloton just a little bit more here and let myself rest just to get a couple beats before the last couple laps here, because of the rain and because of how slick everything was and how dangerous everything became. They decided to cut our race a little bit short here, so we're only going to get about 30 minutes instead of the original 40 minutes. So I think we'll be able to see the lap counter coming up here in just a second. So they started holding up the laps and saying you guys would be done. Yeah, so 2 laps to go. And so it looks like I do kind of fall back into the peloton, but I probably should have done that a little bit sooner. And that way I could conserve a little bit more on these last couple laps here. And instead I was out there, following that move out front, and then being out front a little bit too long and using up some of those matches for the end of this race here. I'm not sitting in terrible position at the moment. Like, this is, because this course is so wide and it's easy to move up at certain points. I'm not sitting in terrible position, but at this point in the race, I'd like to be maybe 1 or 2 bike lengths closer to the front, just because of the rain situation. And so yeah, I want to be there. And also we've got a couple threatening riders out front as well. So how I've talked about Coleman. He actually won the week before this, and I think he was on the podium in the first week as well. So it's I can't let things get away from me, and also I can't let strong riders just outmotor everybody out front. Obviously, I've got teammates still up here as well, but yeah, just need to make sure that we're covering those things. And yeah, I wasn't doing a good job of staying on the wheels here as well. So here we go, coming around. This is the final lap. Having to make up a lot of space here. I let way too much space go in that last lap, and that's just, you know, me being gingerly around the course at this moment when it's crazy. And you'll see here what happens. There's huge puddles over here on the side, and people just went through them, and I think they ended up having to slow down. Not sure if it affected the bike or anything like that, but yeah, going through puddles and stuff like that turns it into a cyclocross or a gravel course out here. But I'm making up some ground. But this is what I was talking about, being a little bit closer to the front on those last couple laps, you know, a couple bike lengths. So I'm having to make up all this ground here on this last lap here. But it would have been much easier to make up ground if I was a little bit closer and not letting the wheels go on this last lap here, or the lap before this. So right there, Terrell's in front of me. Derek is actually right behind Coleman at the front here, and we're going into the last little 180. There is little to no chance I'm moving up at this point because of the rain and how slick everything is. So taking this turn nice and ginger. I don't even think I really put much into this like sprint here. I knew my fate at this point. I needed to be a little bit closer. And braking here at the end, making sure I don't go down in this monsoon of rain out here. But that was crazy. So Derek ended up second in the race, right behind Coleman. He took another win out here in the Music City, so strong rider out there. And Terrell just there in front of me. So I think we ended up finishing 6th and 7th in the race. So not too bad. You know, that race ended up becoming kind of an attrition race, you know, making it to the end in the monsoon of rain and the craziness. But anyway, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon so you know when I post videos. And yo, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
It wasn't supposed to rain today. I don't know what the hell happened. We were supposed to have a nice sunny day out here, and here we go. It's been raining since, I guess, 15 or so minutes left in our race. It's now 6:45. We were supposed to end the race about 6:30, so it's been raining for a good almost 45 minutes probably. Most of the people have left, or they're still sitting in their cars.